Today, I've been given unprecedented access to take you on a very special tour through this, the PSA turnover plant in Slovakia. Here's a couple of quick facts.
This site covers 1.8 million square metres.
Peugeot, along with sister company Citroën, manufacture over 350,000 cars here every year, which works out at about 62 an hour. So it's vast and extremely productive.
All incredibly impressive, however, not the main reason why I'm here.
The main reason is to witness the creation of a very special car, which marks the start of a whole new chapter for Peugeot.
And it's not a small chapter, but a massive one, because this plant is the new home for Peugeot's pioneering city car, the new generation 208.
And why is that car particularly special? Because it will be available with a breakthrough choice of powertrains, including full electrification.
Yes, in there. Amongst other versions, they're making the new fully electric 208. And those who know me will know that makes me quite excited.
And amazingly, all versions of the car are manufactured on the same production line. So let's get inside,
Follow that lunch.
and tell the story of how a 208 comes about. You can't make a car without metal, quite a lot of it. This reel weighs 15 tonnes, but the biggest ones are 25 tonnes and are 3 kilometres long when unrolled. So that's the raw material sorted. Now the process of building the car begins, and this is split into 4 distinct production areas: stamping, welding, paint, and assembly.
Stamping is the very first big process where one mould is squeezed over another and bends the metal to the exact shape. And in this instance, it's the side of the 208, the whole side of the body shell.
In fact, a 208 is made up of 240 separate panels, each stamped out by a different machine.
And it's actually shaking the floor because there's a whole line of presses. And it's so quick.
Once the panels have been checked, they move on to the welding shop.
The stamping shop was all about brute force, but now we go from rugby to ballet because the robots are taking over. A total of 625 machines now piece together all these panels with weld. Everywhere you look, the lights are flashing and the sparks are flying.
And as you make your way further through this enormous factory, something closer to a car shape begins to emerge. And talking of the factory, this place spends half of its development budget investigating ways to be more energy efficient and environmentally friendly. For example, it uses the hot water that's created as a byproduct of the welding processes to heat the building. And it's an approach that's clearly paying off.
In terms of electricity consumption per vehicle produced, turnover is one of the lowest in Europe.
Next stop, the paint shop.
Everything in here has to be kept as clean as an operating theatre, which explains my new change of clothes. There are 5 coats of paint applied fully autonomously to every 208. And that paint isn't cellulose-based, it's water-based.
Fewer chemicals equals less environmental impact. And this in-house refinery also ensures that the water used to capture any loose spray is completely filtered and free from impurities. Time to check out the assembly shop.
Up until this point, every 208 has been put together using identical parts, but now it starts to take on its own identity, which is outlined in that build sheet there. So all those weird numbers and letters will actually mean I've ordered a blue car that's electric with heated seats, with sat-nav, with certain alloys, blah, blah, blah. And that's where all this happens here.
As the car makes its way down the line, gradually the jigsaw puzzle comes together. And it's not long before the powertrain is added, which is where the real magic of this assembly process takes place.
This is the bit where they call it the marriage of all the drivetrain with the body shell of the car. Okay, that's a 1.5 diesel.
And next, the one I'd really been waiting for.
So this is electric, it's got an E on it. I know that. And it's got lots of orange pipes. And that's got the suspension, the brakes, and all that wiring hanging out the front. That's for things like the headlights, which are all going to be fitted further down, because this is the final fit now. Very cool, eh? But the good thing is you have a choice. It's essentially the same car, same styling, similar performance levels, but you can choose petrol, you can choose diesel, or you can choose EV.
And this choice won't be limited to the 208, because by 2023, Peugeot intend that all their models will contain at least one electrified version. The sleek 508 and the 3008 SUV are now available as hybrids, and the all-new 2008 SUV is available to order as a fully electric version. With electrification forming such an important part of Peugeot's future, I wanted to find out more about the power source, the batteries, or modules as they're sometimes called.
There's 18 modules in total that go in to the E208. These guys behind me are assembling the modules, and what will happen is when they're all in, they'll link all the modules together, which is how you get your high voltage. You can see it's coming together now. This is all living underneath the seats of the car. Once they're all connected, it's a pack, it's a power pack. Then it goes down to the next round where it has its control unit fitted, its brain.
The 50 kilowatt-hour pack is then tested for power output and safety. And provided everything is okay, the top of the case is then glued to the bottom. Then the case is left to set for 4 hours, before the packs are tested for leaks using helium gas. By now the 208s were nearing the end of their production journey, and it seems there was a special treat in store.
Peugeot has kindly allowed me to briefly be one of their test drivers for this opportunity to take a 0-mile E208, this car, on its first ever road trip. I'm told this is quite a rare privilege. Here we go. This test track is 1.5 kilometres of varying terrain. You can see I'm going over bumps and things now. And the whole idea of this test track is that cars are plucked off the production line at random. There's another one, look. To just check for quality control. The car has an official real-world battery range of 217 miles. So I could just drive on and on and on and talk much more about the car. There's a lot to talk about, but that would be unfair because someone has bought this and this needs to be delivered with hopefully not excessive amounts of miles on.
Fortunately, I managed to get hold of another one. Follow this link to see my full review of the all-new E208.